Good morning. Out here with Cooper on our morning walk on this beautiful day. It got quite a lot of rain yesterday and the temperature has been dropping. And so I was expecting a chilly morning, and it turns out it's actually very pleasant. I've got a beanie and my flannel, and I don't think I need either. So I was talking with a friend over the weekend. It was a client of mine, and we were talking about creating changes, positive changes, new habits, and they were struggling with implementing better habits, making better choices as it pertains to their health. And I know that there are many ways and ideas that people use or talk about as a way to create change, and everyone's got to find their own path. Some people just use sheer discipline and drive, which is great. And those people tend to be able to create change easier than others. But for the most part, a lot of us have difficulties creating change because we get into routines and our comfort zone, and it's hard to break some of our habits, some of our compulsions. And so one of the things that we talked about is some steps or some tools that we can bring some awareness to when we want to try and create change. And really the first thing that we notice, let's say for example, one was struggling with trying to lose weight, and they find themselves constantly snacking or, reaching for the unhealthy foods. And a lot of the things that we do without thought, or at least conscious thought, is acted upon impulse, right? We have a quick thought that pops into my head, I want this, and then we act on it without really thinking. But if we pay attention, we'll find that those thoughts aren't that subtle. And sometimes we actively seek them. And so here are maybe 4 steps or tools that you can try and implement. I would encourage you to give it a try. And you might even need to write these down, because in the moment you will forget, because impulse is a powerful, powerful thing. And there's Coop. Hey, bud. So if you find that, for example, you have a sudden craving for something that you probably wouldn't serve your goals of maybe losing weight or eating better, pops into your mind, pause. Just stop. Stop what you're doing. Just stand there or sit there, wherever you're at, and just pause. Give yourself a few moments. That sounds funny. It sounds like, duh. But just pause. Like Cooper is right there. He's just pausing. And then secondly, breathe. Diaphragmatic breathe. when we are drawn towards something, for example, that cake or that beer, okay, that impulse is very powerful, and it triggers our sympathetic nervous system. We get into that excited, state, and our breathing can become more erratic, or increase our heart rate, and our breathing starts to speed up because we are craving, we're desiring. And a lot of this happens very, very, very quickly, to the point where we are oftentimes caught up in the current of this desire or craving before we even really are aware that it's happening. Okay. So just stop and breathe. Tip of the tongue lightly touching the roof of the mouth, breathing in and out through the nose, or you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, and do so mindfully. This pausing and taking a little bit of time to breathe, and that might be just 2 or 3 breaths, 4 breaths. If it is something that we are craving, that is a powerful drive, we might need to spend a few minutes. The idea is to regroup, calm our nervous system, calm the mind. And at this point, we're not sitting here necessarily trying to think, like, push away the negative thoughts, or try and avoid the cravings or anything like that. It's just pause, breathe. And breathe in this manner, mindfully, as long as it takes, until that impulse drive just starts to quiet down or goes away altogether. Be kind to yourself. The next thing you want to do, or I would recommend you giving a try, is take one positive move forward from there. So in the example of craving something that we know we probably wouldn't serve us well, is let your next step be grab a glass of water, or grab that banana that's on the counter, or the apple. Move. Just one thing that you do that is going to get you closer to your goals. Now, that might not be all that exciting, but it's powerful, right? You want to take this opportunity that as we calm our nervous system and we quiet the craving mind, that we then implement something that is going to serve us well. And once you do that, you might find that the next step, the next thing you do, also has a more positive or helpful approach to your goals. And if you do that, when you do that, the next thing you want to do is pay attention to how you feel, how the body feels, how the mind feels. If you feel a little bit of pride in the fact that you took a few moments to just tune in and check out how you're feeling and make that little change, which is not little, by the way. A bunch of little things add up. Allow yourself to enjoy that feeling. So really those 4 steps, pause or stop, whatever it is that you're doing. Breathe for however long it takes. Mindfully breathe, diaphragmatically breathe, however long it takes until the nervous system gets more calm. And then take a positive step. Do one thing, just one thing, that'll move you closer towards your goals. And then check in and see how that makes you feel. If it makes you feel good, bask in it. Now, those same things can be applied to something that we want to avoid. So in the case of perhaps maybe food, it's drawing us towards, it's a powerful compulsion to draw us in. But let's say, for example, exercise. A lot of people, most people, aren't drawn to exercising. It's quite the opposite. In that case, you're sitting there on the couch and you find yourself with the thought, I really need to get up and move or exercise or do something. I need to do something with my life, right? And it's really easy to stay stuck. In this case, pause, check in with the breath, diaphragmatically breathe. And then take a step, literally. Go for a 5-minute walk. Do 1 push-up or 5 push-ups. Do 5 sit to stands. Do something. And when there is an aversion to something, one of the things that might slightly differ is the amount of time that we spend on step 2 with the breathing. If I don't want to go and exercise and I pause and then I diaphragmatically breathe and I try and spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes connecting with my breath, that's good, but that's also time not getting up and moving. So the checking in and connecting the breath when it is something that we are trying to avoid is probably going to be a lot shorter period, 2-3 breaths, and then immediately get up and start making that move, take that step. And when you get up and you do that 5-minute walk or that 1 push-up or those 5 sit to stands, whatever it is for you, then check in and see how that makes you feel. Are you proud? Are you happy you overcame that voice in your head that told you you couldn't, or that you can't, or why bother? And that is a really, really important step, because that helps to reshape our brain chemistry. There's that saying that neurons that fire together wire together. And so the breathing affects the nervous system. Action will affect brain chemistry. And then also spending some time basking in your accomplishment. And remember that there is no small accomplishment. Doing 1 push-up when you'd rather be sitting on the couch is not something small. It's a very powerful, profound step forward. So allow yourself to to experience that positive reinforcement. So hopefully that is something that you can maybe try and implement. I look at these almost more like tools, right? If you wanted to remodel a part of your house, if the tools sit in the toolbox, that remodel, it's not going to happen, right? So these four steps or tools, if you get them out of the toolbox and you apply them, you'll remodel that house. You'll remodel your brain. You'll remodel your life. So hopefully that might give you a little insight, something to work with. And I hope it helps. It's not easy. These are simple steps, but it's definitely not easy. So I'm not saying just do these and life will be great. All of your dreams will come true. But what I am saying is when you do them, no matter how big or how small you perceive the compulsion or the aversion, when you take control with your breath and your actions and the feelings and sensations that come with positive steps, then you'll be amazed at the change that you'll see. What do you think, Coop? Coop thinks it's time for breakfast. So I hope something here is useful for you. If so, I would appreciate a like or a thumbs up, whatever the term I'm supposed to use. Subscribe, share with somebody who you think this might help. But most importantly, give it a try. Let me know if it helps or any feedback. Leave in the comments down below. I always appreciate feedback. And until we see each other again, have a wonderful day.